Yeah, just a quick word about Kleermaker. Great to see him back on the European Tour. It was in Belgium at the now lost and not forgotten Belgian Darts Championship, where he made his European Tour debut at the start of 2020. And not only making money this weekend by winning that match yesterday, but he has also booked his place in Prague next weekend as well. So this is, you know, a key couple of weeks potentially for Martijn Kleermaker as he looks to get his Euro season back on track.
But when you miss the first 6 events, you better start winning games when you do appear on the Euro Tour. There's that first sign of a re-grip from Nathan Aspinall, but look how he deals with it. That is an 11-darter to kick things off. You know, only once have we seen Martijn Kleermaker get on a Euro Tour stage and average in the high 90s. You would think, with the way that Aspinall has started this game, he's going to have to produce something like that to be competitive. He did beat Ross Smith yesterday with a mid-80s average, several points lower than that of the European champion. But he just managed to keep taking out the odd shot when he really needed it. At the minute, he's going to be limited to very few opportunities with the way that Nathan is playing. Single 16 to leave tops. Again, when he's going for a double, look, that makes himself apparent, and he still brushes it off.
Yeah, Damien Moll was
Smith.
one of them against Jeff Smith. He was 5-2 down as well at one stage.
But Jeff Smith was not throwing 106 average.
Put your phone down and watch the darts.
Well, she's a Nathan Aspinall fan. She's probably telling her friends. The Asp is averaging 106. Get to a TV screen now.
No, 81.
Well, keeps him interested in the leg, but for how much longer? Oh, he's just got distracted by either a fly or the phantoms of his own imagination. Double 16. Don't need to imagine that. Nathan Aspinall is on fire tonight. What a statement this is from Nathan Aspinall.
Yeah, if push came to shove, Vandenberg against MVG in the final, for example, if it can work out that way.
Well, we shall see.
93.
Are we going to see Nathan Aspinall seal the victory with a 170? No, we're not. But his finishing has been superb. 5 out of 7 on the doubles for Nathan Aspinall. And that doesn't include that accidental double 18 he hit for the 50 checkout either.
74.
But 74 will seal a 6-1 win to make a real statement. But Nathan Aspinall may be finding things tough at the minute, but it is not stopping him produce world-class darts. 100 average, 75% on the doubles.
Impressed to hear about Andy Barton's run, but he was not looking past Humphries at all. He knows exactly what Luke can do. And I love what he said about the advert for the game, or the development tour, because today there's been a huge slice of evidence when it comes to the under-25 system. 6 World Youth Champions here in today's play, and that doesn't even include Keane Barry.
149.
And Humphries out of the traps like a prize greyhound who wants to get the rabbit.
10-darter potentially incoming.
81.
Bradley Brooks might well be writing this leg off. Luke Humphries, double 16. Well, doesn't like either of those two. Has to just ever so slightly readjust, and does so to good effect, just guiding it in ever so slightly off that flight on the left-hand side.
Look at the can I do this from this fine margin perspective.
Yeah.
And I think those losses to Chisnall, they won't dent his confidence, they'll actually fire him up.
Well, Dan and I reiterated the point about Noppert and Aspinall meeting for a third successive weekend, and the other two were very close, and you're right, it could have, with this seeding system the way it is, Chizzy and Humphries could well meet again, and if they do, it will be in the final, as they are the number 1 and number 2 seed once again. Bradley Brooks has lost his way with the first dart, single 5. Needs to try and find some sort of recovery, and that's excellent cover switching down to the 19s, but it might not be enough. Humphries for 76. Tops he wants for a 15-darter, and parallels here with Humphries and what Nathan Aspinall was producing.
Got to close that with every single visit he's got left in this match. Giving Luke Humphries a 3-0 lead is a very dangerous way to win a darts match.
Well, that's a bit more like it. A 140 and a 180 from Bradley Brooks. In position on throw.
57.
Just a 57 in response. Now,
there is a Belgian legend in the house. That is Eric Claris.
for
If
Belgian
you're my
TV.
age, you know who he is. He was, in the 90s, a former world master, of course, but boy, was he creative. And there's
61.
another creative Belgian. That's Brian Roman. We call him the Noodle.
It's almost like he smiled as though he heard that. I mean, he
86.
can't hear what we're saying.
Bradley with 120.
But it was excellent timing from Brian. 120 for Brooks for the Shanghai to get a first leg on the scoreboard. Humphries way back on 259. Tops, though, would certainly make Brooks feel a lot better. And there we see that sidle angle in all its glory.
Everybody seems to forget that Adrian Lewis's first major was the World Championship.
140.
Got to tread carefully. Unlike the person in the crowd there who I'm sure
Really
is
didn't.
wanting a bit of space with that big boot on.
99. Luke Ducoin, 66.
66 was a good year for the English. And that was supposed to be for the 42. So 55 left. And tops
46. Bradley
starting to
Ducoin,
show
100.
little signs of frustration. He'll be more frustrated if Brad can bam this ton.
Poetry in motion once again for Bradley Brooks on that treble 20, double 20 combination.
Watch out, though. There was an argument there for the bullseye with the last dart, but that was a very aggressive last dart from Luke. That's how he plays the game. He hits this 1-2-1, and Brad's going to feel it.
61. Luke Ducoin, 121.
We saw a massive 1-6-1 from Clayton a little earlier, and that scuppers that.
I tell you what, great use of the 25 there as well for Brooks, because he knows he's got the capabilities of taking out this treble 20, double 20 combination. He's done it twice already to pick up the 2 legs that he's got, or 2 of the 3 legs that he's got, and he may well use it again to good value.
Again, looking for a bam. There's 1 bam, 2 bam, and 4-4.
One leg, Luke to throw first.
Oh, what a dart that is. That is an
140.
unbelievable 140. How on earth has he found a third of the bed twice?
Yeah, ironically, when he had all that space before in the previous leg, he couldn't follow up the first dart.
I've watched darts for years. That's one of the best 140s I've ever seen in my life.
Humphries down to a finish first on throw, 161, minus the 20, minus another one, does not like that one bit.
65.
And again, he's putting good use on the 25s. 2 dart combination incoming. How much pressure, though, will he be under? It might be significant.
Wow.
And it is significant.
What a game. Is it the end?
Oof.
Brooks will get his chance to knock out the #1 seed to make Sunday on the European Tour for the first time in his career.
64 points required for Bradley Brooks, the former world youth champion. And he has 1 dart at double 20. Luke Humphries can only stand at the front of the stage and just hope and pray that Brooks does not find double 20, but he's been ruthless on it so far, but not on this occasion. Just when he needed it most. It's been a double that has served him so well so far.
But Humphries has the knockout blow. What a game of darts that was. It was absolutely exhausting to watch. When you get to 20 PGA Tour titles, you have a membership for life. So you can play for the rest of your career.
125.
How would you feel if Chisnell got to 20 and then the PDC said, right, as long as you want to be a pro, you don't have to go back to Q school? Do you think that is a warranted thing for someone who wins 20 titles?
Lovely sentiment, completely impractical, rubbish answer, move on, is my opinion. As Chizzy looks at treble 16 for double 16, doesn't get it.
84.
We'll return to that in a second as Ricky eyes up a 1 treble combo. He might get it, and he does get it. Ricky Evans starting this game off.
When he played Chisnell tonight, I think they've been very neutral. And
Yes.
with a lot of games like this, they have been neutral. All I've heard from a lot of people on the periphery this weekend is just how incredible the order's been from this audience. And it was the same last year as well.
It really was. That's more like it from Rapid Ricky. Second 180, but all it does is keep him at pace with Dave Chisnell, and immediately Chizzy tears off into the distance again.
Well, that person with the 180 counter out there can put another choke mark on, or a pen mark.
100.
Just get a little bit frustrated with those low darts at the treble 20, Ricky Evans. Double 18 for an 11 darter, best leg of the match by a distance.
Curious, he moved left when he hit that 51. I've never seen him do that before. I wonder what he'll do on double 9, because he's not a massive fan of this corner. He might be now. He's just tapped the double 18 as if to say, do as you're told.
Dave's had a few more two treble visits compared to Ricky's one, but he's still a healthy scoring average from Ricky Evans.
96.
Intriguing part of the draw for the English and Northern Irish, of course, because Josh Rock and Chris Dobie, which will be the anchor game tonight. The winner of that one will face the winner of this one tomorrow. People are starting to look at that European order of merit. There's Dennis Nielsen, who was eliminated yesterday. He's decided to stick around, but 161 on, but not gone. Can't do what Johnny Clayton did this afternoon. Yeah, that European order of merit, people are starting to look at it, but Dave isn't, because he's going to be safe. And that gives him freedom for the rest of the year.
Well, at this rate, he might be the #1 seed for the European Championship, because that is an 11 darter from Dave Chisnell, and he's starting to stretch his legs in this game.
Do you think someone can break that magical 120?
I mean, it can be broken. Whether it happens or not, I don't know, but I think there's certainly the possibility that he goes. It might be Dave Chisnell himself who breaks it. Because you've seen in the last 3 legs here, this is the sort of stuff that Dave Chisnell, if he'd started the game like this, then who knows where the average would have ended up. It's 101 right now, and he might win the game.
It could well be the 3rd ton-plus winning average of the night. And all he needs is 32, Dan, to put the full stop on this performance. In the last 3 legs, he's been absolutely sensational.
61.
Match start missed, but more are on the way for Dave Chisnell, who was in a sticky-looking battle with Ricky Evans in the opening 4 legs of this. But as soon as that one poor leg from Ricky Evans, Chizzy got his nose in front, and then he found another gear. And that gear has taken him home and into the final day of action here as he continues the defence of his title. Huge clash of big names. Oh my word, 5 perfect darts from Dirk van Dijvenbode. But he only averaged 90 in that game. At the minute, he's averaging pretty much the same. And it's been enough so far. It will be enough if Dirk continues as he was in the first 3 legs. But is he just starting to get more comfortable in this?
Well, he said himself yesterday, Barney, that in his post-match appraisal, he said it was his finishing at times that rescued him against James Wade. 6 out of 12 on his doubles. Clearly felt there was a bit of room for improvement with the scoring itself. Double 16 for Dirk. Yeah, right in the corner, 2 apiece. And that was an 11 darter as well, after opening up with a ton 80 and a ton 40. 5 perfect darts, 2 apiece.
Yeah, Barney has been very, very impressive this year. And this is getting pretty good from Barney. Surviving those 3 darts to be broken and go behind, and all of a sudden, he's now threatening to go 2 legs clear. This game has swung around massively in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Would
have liked to have taken that one there and then without giving Van Dijvenbode anything like encouragement, because all of a sudden...
Leave double 2. Leave double 2.
Done as well.
Of course he was going to do it.
I don't know about that, Dan. But, well, Barney looking over his shoulder in the rearview mirror.
16.
And the finishing, it's not been there in the main, has it? Look at that, 3 out of a possible 15. And Van Dijvenbode all of a sudden on double 2 for a, well, what seemed a very unlikely holder throw. The break seemed inevitable for Barney, and he may still get another chance.
Left double 2, points to his supporters, takes it out.
59.
In the end, I don't think any possible calculations ended up going through his head because he couldn't find any treble to make any decisions. Barney went for the 164.
96. Tokyo require 147.
Barney's demeanour has changed. He's looking a little bit agitated on stage, but he will get the opportunity.
57.
Should get one dart at a double hit.
He's had chances to break before in this game. He hasn't been able to take them. That leaves double top. And he doesn't take this chance either.
Well, this is more than a concern now for Barney on the finishing. Van Dijvenbode, can he step in on 90? Look for the treble 18 for the double. So 72, guess what he's going to do? Yep, there's the 1. And there's 2. That is sublime from Dirk Van Dijvenbode. And how he would just love to wrap it up, get back to the hotel, rest up, and prepare for another battle tomorrow, or battles to come tomorrow.
95.
Because on this evidence, if he displays this amount of fighting spirit, it could well be that Van Dijvenbode has another good deep run on the European Tour. Barney not done with just yet.
134.
Van Dijvenbode should get to a finish at least as good as Barney's.
Maybe you require 84.
Oh, 15 off causes him a problem, and he's missed the 19s entirely. It's a careless miss from Raymond van Barneveld,
52.
and it means that Dirk Van Dijvenbode should get a match dart.
88.
He might get 2 for his first ever win over the great Raymond van Barneveld. Double 14. And Dirk Van Dijvenbode has enough to brush Barney aside. A 6-3 victory.
World champs that he won at the start of 2022. Looking back with hindsight, which is a wonderful thing, are you surprised by that number, or you think he's... Is it a reflection of how competitive things are now?
I think it's a little bit of the competitive nature of everybody else, but the levels that he attains tournament-wide, particularly after winning that World Championship for the second time, we were thinking that maybe 2022 he was going to pick up double figures and more majors to go alongside the European Championship and the UK Open and all the rest of his won. But in a funny sort of way, that win in the German Darts Open last year was seen as out of the blue. Loves a 1-2-1.
Blue, yeah, bullseye for 1-2-1. I'm not sure that was out of the blue. I was half expecting that, to be honest.
Yeah. I warned Luke Humphries actually when he won tonight against Bradley Brooks. Tomorrow's going to be loud. You better be ready for it.
60.
That is going to be one really loud game. But I just get the feeling with this audience that it's going to be respectful as well.
Yeah. Well,
Should go bull here, Gabe.
I just said to the example, if Vandenberg takes on MVG, for example, in a semi-final, how will that pan out? I think, yeah, credit to them. They've been absolutely exemplary so far.
Oh, this is starting to click now.
Yep. I mean, his last visit, he looked a little bit jaded, actually. He rubbed his eyes. He couldn't quite believe what he'd seen. But back in the saddle straight away. Now then, Gabriel. Can't find the treble 19 that would have left a crack at the bullseye. Peter Wright, backed up by that breaker throw in the previous leg, looking to consolidate with 3 clear darts at Sops.
Well, that's a rangefinder. And that is a leg winner. Averages 97.5. My memory serves me right. That's actually where Gabe Clemens made his debut. Not in that tournament. I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
That's just off the top of my head. But factually, Clemens is making inroads. Now, that's the second time I have seen Peter rub his darts arm.
Double 12 for a break back. Double 6.
69.
And you're right about Peter right there. Just a little concern as well. And as I said earlier, when he went to retrieve his darts after a 60 visit, he looked a little bit jaded and a little bit crestfallen as well. Clemens made his European Tour debut quickly at the European Darts Grand Prix in 2016. Lost to Johnny Clayton 6-1 in that one. Double 6. Break of throw for Gabriel Clemens. 5-4. On we go. Anxious times here for Peter Wright all of a sudden. Trying to cling to as he tries to haul himself out of the quicksand.
Yeah, what are you going to do in quicksand?
You got to the bank.
Don't fight it. Just wait. And just be. Oh, he's got to switch. Oh, what a dart. Ultimately, a brilliant dart, but he should have gone to the 51.
Tops for parity at 5 apiece.
72.
Will that prove costly?
This would be better than the 161 we got from Clayton earlier. And that was unbelievable. Because that would have won the match. He needs errors from the German now, and he needs them desperately. Otherwise, he'll have to rely on holding throw in the last leg.
Well, the crumb of comfort is that he will have the darts. He'll throw first in the decider, but how it's come to be, he led 5-2, but Clemens has reeled off 3 without reply. That just died, didn't it? As soon as it left his hand, he knew what was going to happen there. Just lost a bit of purchase on the grip, I feel. And 6 darts here for Peter Wright from this point in.
I'd go 25 here.
89.
25 would have left single to double combination. That's what a lot of young players do. But now Wright has got 72 under maximum pressure.
Wow.
From the German giant.
Well, out of nowhere, Clemens has got himself into position. 72, plays 36. 2 double 18s against double 18, but Wright has gone to the 20s sensibly. 1 dart at tops. And it's not enough. And as you say, that decision not to go for the 25s, looking back, that might prove decisive. Because Gabriel Clemens has 3 darts at double 18, but he only needs the 1 dart. It's almost like I knew what was going to happen there with that slip of the tongue. And Clemens turns things around in style.
And you have that luxury when you do win titles, but maybe less of a luxury this year because of the lack of wins?
Well, absolutely. I mean, as we said, if they were seeding this right now, Michael van Gerwen would not be a seed, let alone number 3 seed that he is for this weekend. Because the seeding pattern was set up when the qualifiers took place a good couple of months ago now. So Michael van Gerwen, who has been used to turning up to the European Tour and just using it as a bank, because if he didn't win it, then he'd make the final. And if he didn't do either of those, then he would in the next event. And so it's just guaranteed money for him, week after week after week. That has not been the case, and it's not been the case for some time. And it means that he has to do it in the floor events to make sure that he's ranked highly enough.
And they are becoming more difficult by the month. That's more like it. That's an 11 darter from MVG. Comes back to if you have a good Premier League campaign, because he did. He made the final. He wasn't in the following Premier League. But I think playing in the Premier League got him to a level of sharpness that he'd never had before. It's the same for Joe Cullen. He made the final, wasn't included in the next Premier League. And I think playing every Thursday night gave him a level of sharpness that he'd never had. And not having that Premier League, it's about finding it again. Somehow. But it seems as if someone has lit the touch paper for the special one.
Oh, this is vintage Jose, at least for this little spell. 4 180s in 2 legs and a chance to go into the lead. More treble 20s, Jose. We're no more now. Oh, look at this. 11 darter from Jose de Sousa. He is still flying high in the Premier League. He is still throwing as good a numbers as pretty much anybody in the world. But he is not the unstoppable force. And even when he was an unstoppable force, Jose de Sousa was turning up and sometimes stopping him. He's trying to stop him here.
And he's got the fans as well.
100.
I'm intrigued by the fact that the Dutch players are not being welcomed here in Belgium as much as some of the others.
I think you're underestimating the rivalry between Belgium and the Netherlands.
I am.
Great dart. And another great dart from Michael van Gerwen. Classy finish from a man who is under pressure here.
I suppose you'd rather have 170 than 168, that's for sure, but maybe Jose will get 6 darts from 168. Nice day for fishing, Michael. And you do like a big fish. Don't you, Michael?
Can't produce it on this occasion.
81. Jose require 108.
And he leaves a finish where it can be tricky. Okay, 90 left.
Tops bull.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past him. Well, he tried to find the 18s, and you know what? Bull might have been the better shot.
47. Likely require 79.
He'd love 2 shots at double 11. Asking ye shall receive. Reception and the first reaction from MVG. That's massive to take the lead, and that's 3 legs in succession. 60 bull. He can't find the centre on approach. So it's De Souza to take us the distance. Hit the dart. Hit the target.
30.
What an invitation for MVG.
Require 80.
To win it. One at tops from out on the right. And he catches the flight.
Jose require 10.
It was awkward, and he couldn't get past it. De Souza is in, and we are going all the way.
We've already seen the world number 2.
Michael won that 7-6. The averages aren't that dissimilar to that day.
34.
De Souza really wants to break that streak of losing 5 straight against MVG, but you sense that his chance
100.
is wilting.
It's a good start to this leg from Van Gerwen, who was almost unbeatable in last leg deciders for years. And this is a little taste of that. It's brilliant from MVG. 47 left after just 9 darts in a last leg decider.
3 11s. It could be 4. In fact, based on the last leg, it could have been more. Double 16. Too good. And that 12 darter puts Michael van Gerwen through to Sunday here in the Belgian Darts Open.
He's actually improved on his 7th seeding position because he won in Munich, so that's bumped him up. He's provisionally number 5.
Yeah.
He's in everything. He's qualified for everything. It's just a case of turn up, let's see how much money I can pocket. And that's a nice position to be in.
Yeah, it's good management of his schedule, because as we know, he's not played much on the Pro Tour, the Players' Championship circuit this year. He's only turned up to 4 of those, so he's clearly trying to find that balance with you know, the demands on his time and stuff. But yeah, keeping his ranking for events like this, or improving them, as Dan just said. More points on the floor there for Dimitri Vandenberg, by the way. That's got to be a concern when you're 2-0 down against the world champion and chasing your tail. Well, 18. Yeah, once again, lovely 2-dart combination. Highest checkout of the match so far, and Michael Smith is halfway there.
But yeah, Gabriel Clemens could be making the most of it.
Yeah, in terms of people making it at the moment, it would have been like a host nation qualifier, an extra host. I don't think that's ever happened, where someone's come in late on.
But I mean, look, it's a rare thing to see genuine host nation qualifiers. Obviously, Dimitri Vandenberg is here as the highest ranked Belgian player who hadn't qualified as a seed, for example.
95.
And that's a relatively new introduction for the European Tour. But a genuine host nation qualifier going through to, say, the final session, it has happened. It hasn't happened very often. And that could be happening with Andy Barton. King Dimmy the first of the darts is not enjoying much of a coronation at the minute, because Michael Smith has got the luxury of going treble 18, double 4, not even thinking about the 12 segment.
Good recovery, from Vandenberg after that first start. He's got himself down to a finish. Will he get himself a shot at a double for the first time in this match? Should do.
And it's one of those where he could get 2 darts at double. He might get none unless he goes to the bullseye as a sort of insurance policy. He goes for the treble and gets it, so it is his first chance to win a leg. And a chance he takes.
Crowd find their voice once again.
I've seen him going through any of the breathing exercises or anything like that, but the whole demeanour is very much more 2022 Dimitri Vandenberg than it is this new one this year.
Just the way that Michael Smith quickened up on that third dart, though. Just one of the statements of intent. Single 18. And there's another one.
96. Michael, you require 83.
Another big moment in the game.
17s, just a single.
Double 9. Is there. Michael Smith shuts the door and goes within one of the final day. Unfortunately for Dimitri Vandenberg, the first 4 legs, it was entirely one-way traffic.
174.
Signs of life. Michael Smith will be aiming to snuff them out in the next 2 visits. He will get a chance to win the game.
Dimitri down to less than a ton here. Will make things interesting.
100. Michael, you require 161.
Couldn't take the 164. Isn't going to take the 161, but he does leave himself 3 match darts at a double if Dimitri fails to take out what would be the biggest check out of the match.
Looks at the 18s, gets the treble, gets another one, double 10.
180.
Well, is that the last dart that Dimitri Vandenberg throws in anger this weekend? And
24.
May well be. Yes, it is. The world #1 that beats the Belgian #1. Dimitri Vandenberg did burst into life in the back end of the game, but he gave himself far too much to do.
And then Dobie going into that match and maybe a little bit jaded from the night before in Manchester. And we made the point about it being a case of just coming through your opening match. But I think looking back now, you look at what Dobie did last night, 3 17 darters, a 19 darter, a 16 darter. He's going to have to find a lot more than that against a player like Josh Rock, I feel.
39.
Yeah, because he's had a 15 dart at the start. He's on 58 after 12. We're talking about a player who's very comfortable at winning legs in 15 or better all the time. And this is what Chris has been used to in the Premier League. He's been put on the rack a couple of times because of brilliance of his opponents. And that's a second 15 darter from Josh Rock.
So let Chris to throw first.
A lot easier for him this season than it has been for Chris, because he's been hot-footing it around Europe more than anybody.
Yeah. And also, you know, it's big stage, big crowd experience. I mean, he's not had, relatively speaking, he's not had a great deal of that. I'm sure there's going to be loads more to come, you know. Bigger crowds, bigger venues than this as well, but he's played on the biggest stage of all, of course. But what I'm saying is it all helps, and it will be further experience. The demands of travelling, managing your time, managing your schedule, all part and parcel. Let's not forget he's still only 22. He's only been on the circuit for a year and a bit, so
He actually has a chance this year of doing something that has only been done by Belgian Dimitri Vandenberg. He could even defend his World Youth Championship. He will be eligible for that later in the season. That was a single hit by Chris. He was not convinced that it was a good dart, but it was a good leg. That is a 12 darter from Dobie.
went on to make the semi-finals of that, and I think that was the moment where it all began really for him. Had a great quarter-final appearance at the World Championship where he beat former world champions Gary Anderson and Rob Cross, the aforementioned. Went on to win the Masters as a result of that.
57.
A month later,
Joshua 100.
Josh will look at Dobie and see that as the example.
No dart player on earth likes that dart when that happens. And it happens to everybody.
60.
Dobie has got a big ask here. Ideal first dart is right at the top of the 60. That'll do.
Yeah, that will do. Maybe it's the
Attack.
left-hand side, yep.
Double 12.
132.
Well, the first two were so perfect.
You're to require
And
40.
you don't need me to tell you how he felt about the double 12 shot. He will feel sick now. 90 plus scores, 130 plus scores, all 180s. They're all the same, but it may have just changed. But the averages are great, the first nines are great. This is a really good match. And they have no excuses, these two, when it comes to sharpness, because they've played a lot of darts this year. And when we play the first European Tour event, we can always say ring rust, maybe they're not at 100% yet. These guys are about as close to 100% as they could possibly be.
Dobie still needs to find another break.
97.
Needs to find a hold of throw first and foremost, because Rock is in position once again. And guess what? It's on. It's on. 8 perfect darts for Josh Rock on the European Tour. It was almost, but it wasn't quite meant to be. And once again, the crowd playing their part. A nice acknowledgement from the faithful inside the October Hallen here in Wieze.
Why does everybody play this well against Chris Dobie this year? It's happening all the time in the Premier League. All you can do is laugh sometimes, Chris. It's as simple as that. What a completely ridiculous leg.
Well, no guarantees that Rock will win this leg. He's got to find double 12, inside for double 6. Well, we talked about it being a nerveless performance, but it's not quite nerve-free, is it? But he's got there in the end, 5-2. Evening session on day 2 in Belgium, and Rock is looking to fill it up once again. This is great stuff to watch.
This is a 3 Michelin-starred dessert dish from Josh Rock and Chris Dobie. Unbelievable scoring from both players. 10 180s in the game. And we might get more. More, you say? Ask and you shall receive. We didn't get the 9 darter in the previous leg. How about the last leg of the day?
Well, Dobie's chance has gone. He too was on a potential 9 darter. As it is, Josh Rock is once again sensing an opportunity. He finds the treble 20 again. But this time he can't find the treble 19. What a finale this is.
Chris Dobie, over the course of the Premier League and some European Tour events this year, has been hit with a giant hammer when it comes to the form of his opponents. Chris Dobie's averaging 105, and he's barely getting a look.
Well, if you're in any doubt about Josh Rock and his class and his ability, this is the perfect illustration. Could round off with an 11 darter, maybe 12 on double 16, and it is. What a performance that is from Josh Rock. I tell you what, a finalist in Graz a couple of weeks ago, and on that evidence he could go far again this weekend here in Belgium.